What's up, guys? This is Creeper DK with the Blood DK Mage Tower. I just wanted to go over some strategy. I'm going to assume that you know all the base stuff about this, like Drain Life, Interrupted, Nether Horrors, make sure that they don't hit you or hit Corvus, and I'll give you some strategy points to help with that, but I'm going to assume you know all the base stuff like Slam and the Eyes, what they do. I'm not going to be going over a lot of that, just positioning really and just how to handle all the mechanics, especially in phase two. So first things first, gear required. So I recommend to run uh, 905 eye level at least. I recommend to have tanking trinkets. I think tanking trinkets help a lot with this. Not necessary though. I have done with this with DPS trinkets as well. Um, the tanking trinket from Chronomatic Anomaly and Gul'dan are both really good in the second phase. Um, as far as the legendaries required, wrist, belt, shoulders, any of those three will work. They're not actually required, but I definitely recommend those. I think they help a lot. They're not necessary though. You could definitely do this without them. So, um, as far as this first phase, you can see I've pulled him in this corner. This corner acts as a wall, and you can't get knocked off, at least straight back. You can get knocked off to the left or to the right, so you'll want to make sure the eyes that are facing you, that are on the right or left side, that are going to push you off, you can see that opening right there. You're going to want to make sure to kill those. Velen will do damage to the eyes, so you don't have to kill them, but I recommend just put a Blood Boil or a Death Caress on them, and they should be dead. But most of the time, eyes will spawn in the corner. As far as nether horrors go, just treat them normally. You're usually going to get aggro just from healing aggro, but if Velen does get aggro, just put a Death and Decay on him. Uh, as far as orb usage, I don't recommend using any orbs in this phase. I don't think you really need to. They do eventually run out of time, so it's not a big deal if you use one. But the only reason you should need to use one is if you have like 6 stacks of the debuff. I usually get out at 4 to 5 stacks from the decay debuff, or else you can be so low that he could one-shot you. But most of the time you can still survive. But that's the only case I would use an orb in. As far as let's see. As far as the first phase, really just go in 4 stacks, do as much DPS as possible, and then get out. Don't get knocked off when you get out. That's what your back is facing, a big platform, but you can still get knocked off. Um, and just make sure that Velen doesn't die to Nether Horrors, and you're being super careful about knockoffs and the drain life especially. Okay, so we're going to start talking about phase two already. So the reason I talk about phase two is that's when the nether horrors become a problem. Because they stand still when they cast, they can kill Corvus, who's the melee DPS that's DPSing Cruel. He is always attacking Cruel, and that's going to be your #1 savior. Um, the easiest way for him not to die is for you to move Cruel away from where the ads start casting. You're going to see me do a lot of times just straight up run away, trying to get Corvus to follow Cruel so that I can save him. The other ways you can block it, of course, Arcane Torrent. Make sure to Arcane Torrent last second when the cast goes off, or else they'll cast it again. You'll be screwed. Mass Grip, I would say the same thing about that. Just Mass Grip at as soon as they start casting. Use an orb last second they start casting, same thing. Or if you think you can DPS them down before they do it again, which you'll see I do a little bit later, you can do that. So that's the ads. I'll try to show you a few points that happen like that. Let's talk about Annihilates. So Annihilate is super forgiving on us because we have so much self-healing, but it's also not forgiving because we don't have enough cooldowns to deal with it. So how I did it on the first one, I actually used Vampiric Blood because it's going to be up again for the second. But the first one I used Vampiric Blood. You can use nothing and you should be fine. The second one I use Vampiric Blood. The third one I would use IBF and Vampiric Blood. You can see I don't, but I have a Purgatory Trinket, so I actually survive it. I would save the Purgatory Trinket for the fourth one, though, or else you're going to be in a world of hurt. You can see I'm in a world of hurt at the end of this. But that's Annihilates. As far as his jumps, just make sure if you're going to die to it, if you're sort of low or whatever, use AMS, use Netherwalk, anything will work. It's not really that hard to deal with it for us. You can see right here, they're about to cast on Velen, and he actually pops to like 0 health, and I heal him instantly. really, that was the best usage I can show for those nether horrors. Okay, so you're gonna see the third annihilate come out right here. I'm actually not. Oh yeah, I block it with an orb. So number one, uh, I recommend that you use an orb to block annihilate whenever possible. Um, if you can get to an orb, there's weak ores now that show actual boss timers basically for this. They're estimated, but they're really good. If you can use an orb right when he casts Annihilate and elongate this fight as much as possible and get as much DPS as possible, it is really, really good. Um, you're going to see I get the third Annihilate here and nearly die, but I have that Purgatory Trinket. Um, but as far as this phase goes, you're just avoiding Infernals and making sure that Corvus doesn't get casted on. Um, this the actual DPS part of it is easy. You'll kill him in no time as long as you're staying in range a lot of the time. Going outside and like you know trying to blood boil spam, I don't know what you would be doing, but you really do have to stay in melee a lot of the time or else you'll die because you just need the healing. You're gonna see right here. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna keep talking. This is really lucky. You're gonna see that my dots kill him, um, and it completes the challenge. I've had this happen before, or seen this happen. The ads actually come to Velen and kill him, and I was really worried about that. Um, and they actually do kill him, but I still complete the challenge. But I want to finish this just saying, um, if you have any questions, please ask them below. I know this was a really quick video. Hopefully you got a lot of the points, and hopefully just seeing it helps you. Um, but really, this is not a hard challenge. You just really need to have the gear for it, the legendaries, and a lot of attempts. It takes quite a lot. I've only done 20 on DK, but I've done 100 on Guardians. So thanks.